Tab Performance, and today I'm going to take you through the installation of a full 2-in-1 tab performance system on a Harley Davidson V-ROD. Now the first step is going to be removing the factory or aftermarket muffler section of the exhaust. Now depending upon what kind of V-ROD you have, it might be a little different than what we're showing you. This is on a V-ROD muscle. So on the muscle, we're going to go ahead and remove the nut here and the two nuts here and here first. Okay, that's good. We'll use on the V-ROD muscle, we'll use a 1/2 inch deep socket to get these. Okay. Now we're going to remove the passenger foot peg. Just slide that out and pop this bracket out here. Okay. Now we're going to use a 9/16 deep socket wrench to loosen the exhaust clamp. You don't have to take it all the way off, just get it nice and loose so that it'll spin. Now that we've taken off all the fasteners, we're just going to gently rotate and slide this exhaust off the head pipe. Now if it's stuck and you're having trouble, you can spray some WD-40 around this edge and it'll really help you make it a lot easier to slide that off the head pipe. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and remove the rear side head pipe. The first thing we're going to do to get started is take off the cable for this rear O2 sensor. Alright, you'll find the connection for the rear O2 sensor underneath the seat. For a 2012 and up, it'll be a 4-pin O2 sensor plug. It'll look like this. For the 2011 to 2008, it'll be a 2-pin, and a 2007 and below, you won't have rear O2s, so you don't need to worry about it. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect this. If you don't see the O2 sensor plug here, you might need to take off your airbox cover, and it might be just slightly underneath there. But now that we've got that disconnected, we're going to go ahead and push that plug through and wind it around out through the other side. Alright, once you've fed it all the way through and unclipped it, you'll just pull it out and set it off to the side here. Alright, now we're going to disconnect the rear head pipe from the engine here. There's a nut here and one on the opposite side. Now to reach these or have good access to these nuts, you might want to loosen your heat shields up. You probably won't need to take them all the way off, but if you loosen them up, you'll have some play to get them out of the way and get to that nut. Okay. Your heat shield screw is probably a 5/16, so you can just loosen that. Might want to loosen. Okay, now that I've got access, we'll just take these nuts off. Now again, depending upon the model of V-ROD you have, this step might be a little bit different, but you'll need to disconnect the collector tube, the tube that connects the front and rear header together. For the V-ROD, or the muscle, it's a 10mm wrench. Now that we've got everything disconnected, we're going to very gently remove the rear head pipe and set it off to the side, and then we'll get started on the front. Okay, to get to the front O2 sensor connection, we're going to have to remove the left side radiator cover. So to do that, you're going to take a T25 and unscrew the bolt here at the bottom. Okay. Alright, now what we're going to have to do is we're going to pull on the bottom corner of this. There's a little pin that fits in a hole, and so you've got to pull out on it and pop that piece out, and then this cover, there's another one at the top and it'll slide. Alright, now again, if you have a 2007 or earlier model, you won't have O2 sensors, so you can skip this step. If you've got a 2008 through 2011, The plug's going to be in the same location. It's just going to look a little bit different. It's going to look flatter. And if you've got a 2012 through 2012 and up, it'll be this 4-pin. You just disconnect it, and again feed that wire back through. All right, again we'll use a 1/2-inch wrench to remove the nuts on either side, connecting the head pipe to the engine. Okay, now that we've disconnected it, just like the rear, we'll gently remove it. And set it off to the side. All right, now we're actually going to reuse your factory hardware. So we'll need to pull off this ring clamp in order to get this off. The best thing to use here is a piston ring clamp puller. If you don't have one of those, a couple of screwdrivers work, but this just makes it a lot easier, as you can see, and then that'll slide right off. All right, now we're going to go ahead and install this back on the Tab Performance 2-in-1 system. You want to make sure that the groove on this ring is facing out. And you slide that over, and again you'll just pop that ring like that, and you're ready to go. Now the next step's up to you, but I don't like the look of this bracket being left on, so we're going to go ahead and remove it. If you want your passenger foot pegs on a model like the Muscle, you can buy the relocation kit from us. I'm going to go ahead and remove this by just taking out these three. It's a size 6mm Allen. Okay, now after you remove that bracket, you might want to put the bolts back in. That'll just protect against corrosion in your frame and keep it clean in case you want to ever put that back on later. Okay, again we're going to be using the factory mounting points. We'll slide this on over the second piece. Get our ring together here. Snap that over. Good to go on that end. Okay, next we'll take this bracket. We're going to make sure it's facing the outside so that we can get to it. Slide it over the outside of this, and then we're going to lightly put this piece in. Now you want some play because we're going to want to be able to adjust it as we install it up here. All right, now we're going to remove the second Allen bolt here. And again, we'll thread this piece of all thread through. Next, we'll put the black spacer on. And we've got a flat nut. And that'll go all the way to the end. So that's nice and tight. We'll put a flat washer on. And we're ready to mount the exhaust up to it. This is the part that a helping hand can really come in handy. What we're going to do is slide this whole thing on there, and you'll want to make sure that this slides in over the piece of all thread and that these two ends match up. Alright, once you've got everything lined up, you'll use your factory nuts and attach everything. You'll want to leave them kind of loose, and we'll go back at the end once we've got everything attached and tighten everything back up. Alright, now we're going to attach the mounting bracket. We'll swing this up into place. Use our carriage bolt. Go right through on that side. Tighten that up. And we should be good. Now we're going to go back and tighten all the fasteners back up and put everything back together, and we should be good to go. Alright, so since we shot this video last time, we've made a couple design changes that I want to make you aware of. On the old design, this mounting point mounted directly to the frame. On the new design, it's going to be to the mounting bracket, makes it an easier install. This mounting bracket here is going to be shorter. As you can see on the new design, a little bit shorter, and it's going to mount up just like that. Same kind of hardware and all that, but everything else should be the same.